Hi, it's Julie. Today I want to address our dry, tight winter skin. If you haven't changed your routine, your skincare routine from the summertime or the fall yet, and you are experiencing that really tight, dehydrated skin, I think I have something that will really help you out. What I have since learned is that instead of going from using like a medium weight or light moisturizer in the summertime to a heavy duty cream type moisturizer in the winter, which is what I used to do in the past, thinking, well, I just need something that's richer and thicker to combat this dryness. It's not necessarily true. And what I found is our skin is somewhat similar to, say, the sponge, where it's got a lot of pores. And if I wanted to apply a thick, heavy cream onto this and pat it in, it's not going to absorb it as readily. You're not going to get the result that you want. You'll find usually what will happen is that if you just slap on that really heavy, thick moisturizer, that a lot of times it just sits right on top of your skin, same as it would with the sponge. But if you dampen lightly a sponge like this, say with an essence that's very watery, or even a serum that's just slightly thicker, it will absorb and prep the sponge to be able to absorb a thicker cream much more easily. So our skin is somewhat similar to that. And so what I would recommend is that you try, if you don't have one already, an essence or a serum as a first step after cleansing. I picked this one up from MISSHA. It's Time Revolution, the First Treatment Essence Intensive. I don't think you're going to be able to read it, but this is what the bottle looks like. And it is very watery, you can tell. If I put it on my skin right now, it would just run right off. But you put a little bit into the palm of your hand, and then you pat it and press it into your skin, on your neck, on your chest if you'd like. And it only takes a very short time for that to absorb. And you don't even really need to wait until it fully absorbs. And then you can go in with a second step. I wouldn't go from that watery texture to a heavy cream. I would go in with another slightly thicker textured treatment. And this is from The Ordinary. It's the Buffet. It is, as you can see, slightly thicker in texture. It comes out like that. And I would pat that into my skin, give that 30 seconds, a minute maybe to absorb. And what you'll have to do if you're willing to do this to see if your skin responds a lot better than what you're doing right now, you're going to have to give yourself probably an extra 5 minutes, I would say, to treat your skin and let it absorb these three different steps, but you do whatever feels most comfortable to you. And then I would put on, say, this is my Belif Moisturizing Balm, and it is a beautiful, creamy moisturizer. Let that absorb. Also, I would recommend that you exfoliate gently your skin once or twice a week if you're not already doing that, to get rid of the dead skin cells that are on your face, either with a very gentle, mild physical exfoliant or a AHA or glycolic acid exfoliant, so that your skin is really ready to drink in these very thin, textured, watery serums and essences. So then also I wanted to address the idea of drinking water. A lot of times in the winter we think, well, we're just not drinking enough water and that's why our skin is dry. And that's not necessarily the truth. I think it's a little myth, because we do need to drink water. Our organs are dependent on it. We need it for our brains, our heart, our lungs, but those are the organs that first get all of the water, our skin being one of the last. So I'm not suggesting that we don't drink a lot of water, but I'm saying it's not going to hydrate, the fine lines and little dehydration that you have on your face like you're hoping that it will. And I'm also not saying that all of these particular products are the ones that you have to use. I'm just suggesting that you use something that's very liquidy and watery and with good ingredients. You don't want to start off washing your face with a sodium lauryl sulfate foamy type drying face wash and then go in with these things. You want to be thoughtful about each product that you choose. You do not want to have SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate, in your skincare regime. You just don't. You want to make sure that everything is as good for your skin as possible. You want to try to avoid artificial fragrances and the drying alcohols. There are fatty alcohols. If you look on an ingredient list and you see alcohol, you might want to look it up because there are some alcohols that are actually fatty alcohols and they're okay for your skin. But here's another little trio that I would suggest by Dr. Jart. There's a liquid that's really runny, the Ceramidin liquid, which is great for anti-aging. The Ceramide gel cream, which is more like a gel than a cream. It's very watery once you start to apply it onto your skin. And then you could finish off with the Ceramidin cream, which almost looks like toothpaste coming out. It's much heavier in texture, but it just smooths onto your skin beautifully and absorbs very nicely. You just have to give it a little bit more time. And then also around your eyes, if you are using a serum already, you might want to add a cream on top of your serum, or if you're just using a cream, you might want to buy a serum to put on right before you put on your eye cream. But using the two together, it's just perfect. I'll wake up and feel around my eyes and it's nice and moisturized and feeling very good. So those are what I would suggest for the face. And then the last suggestion I have is if you have a facial sunscreen, SPF that you're using, there are some that are actually drying. The Australian Gold, that's very popular. I don't have it right here at the table with me right now, but I have used it and I've used it for filming because it really mattifies my face. But in the winter, if you really try to mattify your face when you're not oily, you can really get that dry, cakey, flaky look. So I found this sunscreen and I'm absolutely loving it. It's by Josie Maran. It's the Argan Daily Moisturizer SPF 47 Protect and Perfect. And it looks like this. It's got argan oil in it. It has a tint to it, but it's much more moisturizing than the Australian Gold. It's got a nice subtle tint. And for those who don't want to wear makeup, it would be really nice just to have that on your face to slightly even out your skin tone. But it looks like that, and it just feels so good on your skin. As a last step, I would recommend that if you are looking for a facial sunscreen. It does leave a little bit of a glow, but for me personally, I enjoy that little bit of a glow on my skin. It makes me feel a little healthier, and as long as it's not too shiny or anything, I enjoy that healthy sort of glowy skin. So that's it, I think. Remember to use your sunscreen in the wintertime. Don't give up that last step. You really want to protect your skin. I so appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.